how they did it. So just going on the basis of the flyers, which is you have something to say. I'm just gonna let you take charge. I'll facilitate the recording. If you want me to be part of the conversation, you want me to ask you questions.
Yeah.
So, are we gonna have a conversation or?
I would prefer a conversation rather than me
talking?
just blaring off.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so I don't really know exactly what you're looking for to open, but maybe all I can do is talk about myself lah.
Sure.
Yeah. So I need you to.
All right. I am really looking at you, bro.
Yeah.
These headphones give a nice dimension to everything.
Yeah.
So hi.
Hi. So basically, maybe I introduce myself. I'm Shaggy.
Sure. Hi, Shaggy.
At this point, I can only speak about my work. So I do videos, and as well as that, I also do theatre.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in Singapore. So some of the things that I've been doing.
I've met you, dude.
Yeah lah, true lah.
Lidah aku punya.
Lidah aku punya, that's right.
That's
so I was
right.
recording Lidah aku punya. That's thanks to Noor Fendi Ibrahim. He approached me to record. So I run my own company, and in that company, I want to work with theatre companies to help record their shows and all that. I'm very interested in archiving memories of people.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's the main reason why I opened the company.
What was it called again? Sorry.
My company is called Paradise Pictures.
Paradise Pictures. Okay.
So I've recently done up my website and all that after 1 whole year of working with various theatre companies and also doing some videos for other people. Yep.
Cool. So you mentioned something about archives.
Yeah, archival.
What? Okay, for me, archival is a very broad term. So you want to talk more.
Okay, so where does this archival part of me come from? So I've always been, my background is film. But if you go even further, my dad bought me a tape recorder. And I used that tape recorder to, record everything that was going on around me lah. And that was an exercise for me to realize that we as people, we grow over time. Things change, but the recording will always remain the same. So having a recording, right, gives us the opportunity to peer into our past. Something that is very precious, because memory is not very good, and we tend to distort our memory based on what we like and what we don't like. But then when we put it down on recording, right, it's somewhat genuine versus your memory lah. Yeah, so that's where my archival thing goes on. And then when I grew up, I initially wanted to be a journalist, so I studied media. And then I studied media, but the school was quite geared to art as well, so that's where I got started with art. And as I do videos, I realized that whatever that I learned as a kid with my tape recorder, I can apply with videography as well. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna drift off a bit.
Yeah, please
just to
do.
see where you're coming from. How did you learn all this, and what made you want to come in and speak?
How did I learn all
And
this?
coming in with a camera.
Coming in with a camera. Okay, so owing to what I've mentioned earlier, right, I'm very impulsively recording things around me. But that one is not interesting. So after a while, because I've been doing YouTube for several years now, I realized that I need to be inside my recordings to sort of form the narrative of what is going on in the surrounding. So
okay.
I always carry my camera around with me, in case anything happens. Anything happen means in case something that is meaningful or newsworthy happens, I can be there to capture it.
Okay.
And I always try to archive bits of my life through videography. So recently, I've been doing YouTube for so long, but only like for the past 3 months or so, or like 3-4 months, I've been doing vlogging. But only because to show myself that my life is not as stagnant as I believe it to be. Because I have a very bad memory. I always think that nothing happens in my life, and then I get frustrated. So I realized after I vlog, right? Oh, okay. At least when I do the editing at the end of the day, I can see that, oh, I did this. It's not like I did nothing. I tend to believe that I do nothing, and then that bothers me a lot.
Okay. So maybe you can share some interesting things that you captured off the cuff.
Some interesting things that I've captured off the cuff would be, I don't know, it's very mundane things. It's not exactly like,
Wow.
yeah,
Kind of stuff.
it's not
Yeah.
wow stuff, because those things are hard to come by, and when you do something as consistent as a vlog or what, it tends to be really mundane. So I capture moments of my life where I do shows. I capture moments of my life where I meet a potential sponsor, or things that to me are interesting. How I eat my breakfast, with my coffee and my eggs.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
move this conversation into a bit more
yeah, go for it.
edgy territory, yeah?
Yeah.
And you are free to say what you want, remember? If you can imagine and have enough resources and money to manipulate a scenario so worthy of being captured,
Ah,
if you could influence things in that magnitude, what would it be? Like one example, two
okay.
examples.
To be truly honest with you, what I would do with resources like that, right? I would actually pour it to doing a documentary,
Okay.
which is what I'm doing right now. So
Okay.
I've come up with several topics that I want to talk about,
Okay.
or several people that I want to talk about.
Okay.
So now I'm doing planning a few documentaries,
Okay.
with my limited resources. But had I had more resources, I think I'll pump it to spending money on people who are knowledgeable, people who can do research, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. That's the money where I put my resources. Even if I have infinite resources, because I like genuine stories. I don't like to create things out of thin air. I like to observe people and what they do with their lives. To me, that is the interesting thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that even if you had the power to manipulate, you wouldn't?
I would manipulate.
Let's say, let's put it more succinctly.
Mm,
If there was no law in this world,
if there was no law in this world.
what would you do? And then capture it, even if it's for the sake of capturing something.
If there was no law in the world, I believe I will be provoking people.
Okay.
Yeah,
If
provoking people, provoking responses from people. That's what I would do. Like ask difficult questions. Why do you do this? What drove you to taking this action? No matter how benign. Sometimes some things in society we take for granted, I believe, but it's taken for granted, yet we are unable to question them. So that's what I want to go and disturb, if I can.
what is stopping you from doing that now?
What is stopping me from doing that now? I like that question. Um,
Because I'm okay right now. Since we're having a conversation, I'm just interjecting some thoughts.
yeah.
I feel though this city, this society in Singapore, right now, has come with very subtle layer upon layer upon layer of regulation and rules
Yeah.
that phases out things that have soul. I believe so. I don't know how to put it properly in words, but it's that kind of thing. Like I feel things are being diluted bit by bit. Whether it's economy, whether it's culture, whether it's music, whether it's whatever.
Yeah.
We are fast becoming a very robotic society, and I'm not taking over this conversation, but I'm just trying to throw forth based on what you've been saying. So I'd like to know what are your thoughts, like like what and back to my earlier question, why would this provoking or provocation, why is it not why wouldn't you do it now?
Why wouldn't I do it now? I believe that I need to. You get people like Michael Moore, for example,
Okay,
documentary. He likes to provoke,
all right.
but I think that skill of provoking in his manner can only happen due to experience. So he needs to know he needs to get used to provoking people. And how I practice that right now is Facebook, actually. Yeah, if you follow me on Facebook, or I think anybody who is listening who knows me on Facebook, will know that I love to say a lot of quite certain provocative things. And that leads me to why I resist sometimes. Sometimes when you provoke, right, there's a risk of your reputation being at stake. So I'm not at the point where I don't know, I need to build a certain reputation that allows me to have certain credibility to ask certain questions. And I agree that in Singapore it's very structured in that way, where people have to, there's a ladder to climb before you can do something lah, and everything has its time. So I believe that in time, I'm sure I'll be able to provoke what needs to be provoked lah.
So you're saying you need to earn your stripes lah.
I need to earn my stripes. I cannot come out of nowhere and then start to ask.
Okay, I got to get back to that soon.
Yeah.
Earning your stripes is one thing. Do you consider yourself a keyboard warrior?
No.
Okay, so okay, now back to that earning your stripes. Since you've been YouTubing for a while, do you have a lot of followers? Because I don't follow.
No, not a lot. I won't lie. To me, it's very conservative, my numbers right now.
Okay.
So,
and do you think numbers are indication of legitimacy then?
No.
Because for me, okay, since you say no, for me, what makes you think you've not earned your stripes? Are you being overly humble?
I don't know. I wouldn't call myself a humble person. People who know me know that I'm not very humble.
Okay.
But I feel that. Thanks for pointing this out, because this really helps me to think about my work. So, what makes me think that I have not earned my stripes, right? Because I haven't had the impact that I want. So that's where the numbers come in, you see. Okay. Impact.
So are you quality or quantity?
I used to be quality only, but now I realize that with quantity of creation, with quantity of creativity, you get to create your quality. So if you are let's say you are a filmmaker or a YouTuber or like some kid on the block who wants to create videos, for example, and you approach me, right? The first thing I'll tell them is just do it. Just screw up. Just make sure that things will not go your way no matter what. Just do it. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity. Don't go and read books. Okay, go and read books, fine. But don't go and read books and articles and all that and try to copy exactly what they're doing to the point where you feel defeated. Because these people who write all these things for you, like a guide, right, is people who have reached a certain level. And from that level, they're able to pull in certain resources. But you as a starting point, I think all you need to do is try. And that's where the quantity is important. And the quality will be born out of your quantity of work.
Shaggy, I'm going to tell you to, whatever you just said, take it back.
Okay.
Because I'm throwing it back to you.
Can.
Whatever that you are advising people to do,
yeah,
you can do it.
I'm doing.
So back to the point. What makes you think
please.
you've not? Is your phone?
Yes, your phone.
Oh, it's not my phone. Whose phone is this? Sorry. So my whole point is.
Yeah, go for it.
You are humbly. I don't know whether you're humbly.
Yeah.
Maybe pura humbly, or really genuinely humbly.
Oh yeah.
You think you've not earned your stripes, but you've been telling people just do it. So I'm telling you back lah. Just do it lah.
Yeah. So honestly.
Back
please.
to the quality and quantity. It's the same as you can have. Let's say you make pizza, okay? You make 100 pizzas. You've got quantity there, what? But you only sell 5. Okay? Or you can make 10 fucking good pizzas and sell them all. So right now I have no idea who you are on YouTube.
Yeah.
And to be honest,
which is fine.
I don't give a shit also.
Yeah.
But based on the convictions that you seem to be expressing, I'd like to see you do it, whatever it is. And I'm not kind of giving therapy. It's almost like I don't know why I'm in a position of trying to choke you back, but I kind of like to see because I think you resonate with the history and the soul of Substation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean maybe,
Um.
and feel free to cut me and tell me shut the fuck up because you want to talk more. Feel free to do so because it's really
Okay, I'll cut you
your
here.
thing.
I'm here to be provoked. To be honest.
You're
I'm
here to be provoked.
Yeah, I'm here to be provoked.
Okay, I didn't know that. So am I doing a good job so far?
Yes, thank you so much. So, having said what I said earlier,
Okay.
I'm actually actively working on some stuff right now lah. So,
Okay.
I'm in the process of challenging myself. Meaning, things that are bigger than myself, I would like to tackle them. So I've been doing things that are within my sphere. But I am choosing to take one step away from my sphere, 2 steps away from my sphere, to, like I mentioned, I want to do documentaries, right? 2 steps away from my sphere to look at other people, especially people I judge, look at them in the eye and tell them, let's have a conversation and let me learn about you instead of me judging you.
So are you telling me you want to step out of your comfort zone?
Yeah, I am stepping. So as I'm saying this, I am stepping out of my comfort zone. I am working on some stuff right now lah. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to ask, for the sake of asking almost, yeah?
Yeah, please.
Instead of stepping out of your comfort zone, do you think you are capable of bringing people out of their comfort zone but into your comfort zone? You get what I'm trying to say? Rather than you stepping out, you make sure people step in. So,
Oh, I like that.
So you accentuate and you, I don't know what, authenticize your own appeal, as opposed to I want to step out of comfort zone to see how you think. At the end of the day, there is always, for me, there's always a danger of you at the end of the day not knowing where you come from. But that, I don't think you'll be doing that. I think you have more spine than that. But when stepping out of your comfort zone is a social construct, it's a sentence that justifies so much. It comes to a point where half the people that say it, I think they're just bullshit because
Yeah.
there's a difference to me between stepping out of your comfort zone and not knowing who you are.
Okay, so where I am, right, stepping out, when I say step out of my comfort zone, what I mean is, so I start a company,
Okay.
I stop working,
Okay.
I want to do things and live on my terms.
Nice.
Meaning cover stories that are only meaningful to me. And in that process, there's a lot of pain. Meaning I try to apply my skills in other people's work to earn money, because that's what we need to do, right? To earn money. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. And when it doesn't work, that's when it sucks.
Okay.
So-
Sorry. Can I? You should say something that you want to do stuff that appeals to you.
To me, yeah.
Now, I'm trying to see, out of curiosity only, the balance between what is validated as what is important to you
Yeah.
and what is important to the story, which may not be you.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say?
I think that is the art of it.
That is the art of it lah. So,
That is the art of it.
it's a continuous process lah. Basically, do you see that?
It is
Of trying to find that middle ground between you, as in integrity you, and ego you, and objective you. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. So I think it is already time for me to start doing that. I've grown enough, I believe, over the years to know where I stop and where other people begin. As in, I don't try to. Okay, when I was younger, maybe in school, everything I do must have a stamp of me on it. You know what I mean? Must have like, oh, this is Shaggy did it. Wow. But now, I try to take a step back and let the people who I work with lead me into
A certain niche.
But it's still following my nuances.
Okay.
That means my language of navigating them. But
Okay.
it's more about them. So I try to. I know inevitably, even if I distance myself from what I do, it will still have my brand. I am not anxious about trying to remind people that I'm the one doing it. You know what I mean? When you create something,
yes, yes.
yeah, when you create something, you always have this anxiousness to remind people that you are special, blah 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 blah. I think I am slowly freeing myself from that and letting the work, you know, because I know that whatever I do, it will look like me
Okay.
either way. Yeah.
So you're, in a way, you're going for an impact so immaculate that when this work is done, it's Shaggy's. Distinctively Shaggy's. People recognize it as Shaggy's.
But I don't die one. Okay, not. It's
That-
important that it's mine. It's
Okay.
important that it's mine. But I don't want people to think that it's all about me. It's not about me anymore.
Right.
It's by me, but it's not about me.
Okay.
Maybe the journey is about me. Maybe when you do documentary, it's always the journey about me finding out about others. But I want the finding out about others thing to be center stage, not me. As in my biases, my interpretation. I don't want what I feel to affect people too much, but I want my journey to be the one that what people sees.
So, okay, in the context of Shaggy in a place like Singapore,
Yeah.
do you have a plan for the future, or are you very...
Yeah, I do have a plan for the future. And again, I go back to YouTube. In Singapore, YouTube is full of content that doesn't is to me is meaningless. A lot of it is meaningless, and there is a lobang there, to put it plainly, for content that is like, okay, you go back to the US and all that, they have Vice,
Okay,
you know,
yeah,
all
yeah.
these YouTube channels that go and look at stories that, like controversial, or stories about interesting people. Like, no one in Singapore is actually really doing that. In Singapore, when you watch YouTube, sorry if I step on anybody's toes, because I haven't discovered any. Because most of it is like top 10 lists, or
Yeah,
I'm sure
how to date a girl and all that.
how to date a girl. I'm
Bullshit.
sure there's someone out there who is doing exactly what I'm doing. I'm sure there is, but I think that I would like to meet these people, and I'm sure that there are more of these people, and we are all trying to make this effort to make our content online a bit more meaningful.
So, I'm gonna ask you this.
Yeah.
Hold on, huh? It's pertaining to what makes you think people in YouTube, in a Singapore setting,
Yeah.
what do you think holds them back from doing, for lack of a better term, controversy? Or actual real stories that are not freaking sugar sweet or Channel 5 standard?
Honestly, it's because some of the people who put themselves out there in that manner,
Okay.
some people who are indeed controversial, there's always extremes. So you have the very normal commercial content, which is very safe,
Yeah.
meh stuff, right? But it does well because it appeals to a big group of people.
And there's
then
money
you
behind
have
it.
people like MSC. He is an example of ultra controversial. That means he dares to say whatever it is. And you see people like that suffering repercussions. It discourages people who even want to try. Let's put MSC as number 10.
Okay.
Someone wants to do 1 or 2. Some of these 1 or 2 people who want to do level 1 or level 2 controversial topics, right? They will be held back because they see the number 10 guy getting into trouble, and then they as number 1 and number 2 haven't had the courage yet. Then they don't dare. You know what I mean?
I don't know, because for me, I have reservations about MSC. As much as he got freedom of speech, I feel that sometimes he went in hentam buta lah. Like,
It's hentam buta due to his age.
Yeah, and
can't
and
blame
him
that.
trying to parrot what is acceptable in other cultures, because at the end of the day, the complexity about Singapore is that we are in the middle of first world and third world. We want to be cultured, but we're not open. We want to be cultured, but we kill culture also, and we want freedom of speech, but it has to be regulated. So it's a bit of it's almost hilarious. It's almost ridiculous. So
But therein lies the space, right?
yes,
Therein lies something that we can do, and because is
is it a constant negotiation for you? Like, do you see it as
how
a constant?
much I can say
Yeah.
No lah. I freed myself of that. I know my boundaries. I mean the boundaries are there. I mean I don't have to example. I don't have to go on a tirade against a religion, for example.
That was-
I don't have to get into personal attacks with political figures, for example. But it makes you mature also, because if you have full freedom, full chaos, you get what's happening in the US, which is a lot of people saying a lot of things and then nobody knows what to believe anymore. At least Singapore, there's a good thing that comes up with people having to think a bit harder. I want to say something, yet I need to have a goal at the end of the day. I cannot say something just to piss people off. I cannot say something just to like make people emotional. People do that, online. People do that, but in different forms. What I mean by people do that in different forms. For example, when somebody sees another citizen making a mistake in public, they will go on a tirade about this person.
Tembak the fella kau kan.
Kau. But this is civilian versus civilian. What's the point? Another example of drivers fighting other drivers because they got the dash camera. Or another one is people complaining against restaurants, businesses. People are still hungry to say whatever they want to say. But without really thinking about it, then there's a waste. Because at the end of the day, all of us have agenda. Let's not bluff about that. We all have something that we want to contribute to the world. So, yeah.
Can
I
ask
have lost your track.
No, you've not. I like to ask a hypothetical question, because I'm surprisingly, despite being sleepy, I'm very focused on what you've been saying.
Thanks.
A hypothetical question would be: is there space for conscious rejection of structure in Singapore? It means basically, we're not talking about fantastic things like anarchy or whatever, but more of just a chaotic way to work, for example, or working without some hierarchy. Okay, how much do you think chaos is able to exist in Singapore? Should it exist in Singapore? And at what degree or percentage should it exist in Singapore? And I'm speaking from the point of view of a practicing artist, I would say.
Okay.
Because my dilemma is always, I work very fluidly, like I said, outside. I work in chaos, and I do a lot of things to learn about structure.
Right.
And I believe there is a huge imbalance between chaos and structure.
Okay.
So I just want to find another human being's point of view.
This is where I'm coming from. This is my belief. I believe that the world is very chaotic.
Okay.
Structure is us humans trying to understand the world. So for example, in Singapore, we are very structured. Why? The reason is during the formation of the country as it is today, as Singapore, independent and whatever, there is a strong need for the people in power to create something out of this country, rather than to have a personal. Okay, I don't know whether they have personal agenda or whatever, but there is a strong need to reach a certain level and fast. So structure helps you to get there fast. So in my practice, what I do is I always look at chaos, and I used to be very against chaos due to our upbringing in this country. We want everything to be neatly packaged. Then I realized that responsibility is my responsibility for my own understanding.
As
Meaning,
a citizen or as a person?
as an artist, as
Okay.
a
Individual?
individual, as an employee.
Okay.
Because I used to go out in the world and expect my employer, for example, to give me structure. I used to expect people in my life to give me structure, and then I work on it, because that's how my parents brought me up, you see. But as I go along, I realize that the world is more chaotic. Even in a country like Singapore, it's still chaotic. There is still weird shit that happens all around, and then but we expect it to all be in place. But accepting chaos, I feel, is very important. Accepting it and knowing that that's where you come in. You know, that's the power of it. Chaos is fine. Chaos has a space in Singapore. Chaos is in Singapore. Just that there are a lot of people who have vested interests to keep things in order so that it's simple for everyone to enjoy. You know? Yeah. And my life in of itself has been chaotic for the past year and till today. Because I left my job full time, and then I'm running my own business, I'm freelancing, and then I get the full brunt of this chaotic. I know that I won't get paid every month. I know that I need to keep, looking around for opportunities. I need to keep chasing people. I need to keep calling people back if people want me. And then when people do want to work with me, it's never in my terms. You know what I mean? I always have to. There's always a negotiation. I work in the terms, and then they won't ask me for my full rate. They want a bit less, but then I need to negotiate. There's a lot of negotiation. So I've grown somewhat comfortable with this chaos.
Am I correct to say that you think not only with your head but also your heart, and you feel with logic?
I tend to be very rational, yet my emotions are the one that rule everything.
You don't know why this is. You know why, right? I have a theory
Yeah, please.
that I could see it straight away from you, because you have a simian line on your right hand.
Yeah, this one. Oh, you saw it?
Yes.
Jeez.
You know why? I
Why?
have two.
Oh God.
I was born with two.
Yeah.
And yours is a broken simian line on the left, and those listening, this is not planned. The simian line project was something I proposed to as part of the co-op anchors in the very early stage, but I didn't have a proper follow-up, so it wasn't acknowledged. One of the future things that right now I'm pitching to you live, if there was ever a simian line based project, because it talks.
Can you say that again? Line what?
Simian line. Okay, SIMIAN. This is the line that we're born with. Apparently, based on research, and I'm still trying to do my research on this, people who are born with this line think with their head and heart, feel with logic as well. And people like us tend to be a bit intense. And we see things
My wife gets sick of my shit sometimes.
Yes. And we tend to talk blade lah. Not blade, sorry. It's more of like we tend to talk in circles, but we are coming to a point.
Yeah.
The rest of the world doesn't seem to have the patience that we talk holistically. I mean,
yes.
I've just known you, so I'm
Yeah.
guessing certain things, and you feel free to just correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So
I tend to go around and around.
Yeah, so based on what your observations on chaos is, and your the layered perceptions you have of this world, it's I resonate with it for most of it, and I think we think alike. But this is again, if this project happens, I'll probably call you, because you were born with a simian line.
I would love to meet all the people who have this line.
Yeah, do you know famous people with born with these lines? Do you know?
Do you?
Yeah, famous people, yes. Tom York,
Okay.
Robert De Niro, and Tony Blair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so and I'm trying to find is this all a coincidence, or
Yeah,
the
is it
people-
what?
Yeah.
I'm a skeptic, so I tend to want to have rational answers.
Yes, I'm an optimist, and I would like to work with skeptics just to prove myself right or
Yeah.
wrong. So anyway, sorry for interrupting, because I noticed
No,
this.
this is something. It's an insight.
So I hope that was something fresh for you that I hope I imparted something lah.
Yeah.
So okay, continuing the conversation. Well, maybe I would just say maybe you dictate the flow of the rest of the conversation. Maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have anything else to say? Do you wanna chill? Do you wanna stop? Do you wanna start a new topic? Do you wanna end? Do you wanna extend?
No, I like being provoked lah, basically. So okay, maybe I'll talk about being provoked.
Okay.
For example,
Can.
you asked me earlier about being a keyboard warrior. I'm not a keyboard warrior. I don't like to cause a ruckus online. I don't. Okay, I like to troll sometimes.
Okay.
So let's say people post relationship posts, for example, I will disturb lah. I'm that guy. I'm not a keyboard warrior in the sense that when I see a perceived injustice, I will always say this: when you see an injustice online, it's a perceived injustice. It is the biased interpretation of the person. Many people in the process of the person who took the photo, for example, of the person who posts and then add the caption, of the friend who recommended that video to you. So you have at least minimum 3 layers of bias that comes to you. I'm not the kind of person who will approach this content and then react. I'm not reactionary. Because I know there's always a bigger story behind everything. I think that's what informs me when I do my documentaries also.
Do you okay? I know you say you're not reactionary. Do you sometimes feel emotionally swayed, at least, to respond immediately to something?
No. I always stop myself. Okay.
That's where we're different. Because I tend to sometimes terlepas cakap. Sometimes. Yeah.
But sometimes, like for example, I have a very close friend who will tegur me or like who will approach me and say, hey, why are you saying all this? Why are you making these statements? This is very polarizing, for example. Why aren't you the same? Aren't you like that as well? Then I'm like, yeah, you know what? I need to say it as it is lah, because we live in a world where we blindly enjoy things, we blindly like each other, we blindly encourage each other to behave a certain way. Sometimes you need someone to pop out and not say that it's wrong, but at least to ask like, what is the meaning of this that everybody likes? We need people like that in society lah, because the capitalist machine tends to want everybody to beat to the same rhythm. And we need someone to not beat in that rhythm and ask, why are we beating the drum? For example, when I watched the Lego movie, the Everything is Awesome song, for me, that was horror. That moment in the movie where everybody was singing the Everything is Awesome song, everybody was singing, everybody was working, to me that was horror. I was horrified at that scene. I was scared shitless. I didn't see the movie the same way after that. To me, it's like, why are you encouraging people to be robots and being the same and like beating to the same drum and working towards something? And the character in that movie is actually a very blind guy who thinks that everything is fine, everything is good. I just need to follow the manual and my life will be great. But in real life, that's not the case.
Yeah. But I know, I also watched the Lego movie as well. Do you think that could be an artistic intention to parody robotic lifestyle in society? Or could it actually, in a more cryptic sense, be a subtle, this is how you should be when you grow up, kids?
I think it's the other way.
The second one, is it?
The first one.
The first one.
I think it's a parody.
Let's hope it's the first one lah. If it's the second one,
that's the optimist in me.
Yeah.
Hoping that when an artist makes a movie and they show something, it's not that they are endorsing it, they are putting a spotlight on it. Yeah, I think people need to realize that also, that when you are an artist and you do something, it's not necessary that you endorse it. It just means that you're showing it to more people. Things happen all the time in life, good and bad things, but artists, that includes musicians and filmmakers and actors and everybody, right? We shed light on things. Doesn't mean we endorse it. So like when people give outrage over certain TV shows having certain themes or things like that, it doesn't mean that the people involved are endorsing this content just because they show the content. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's where I'm hoping that in that movie, that scene was meant as a way to tell people that, you know, you can live by the manual, but there's also more than that. Which is towards the end of the movie, yes, that happens because the kid was playing with the Legos in an unconventional way, and then the father was the one that was a structured guy. Yeah.
If you were in such this is probably my last question, yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
If you could be God, okay, and God writes manuals for people, what is that one manual you like to write?
Listen. That's the one. I think that's the one manual. I'll write a whole manual about how to listen to others.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Why? Because we don't listen to people enough. I think that's why I'm here lah. I was listening to someone else. I love listening to people and their insights. And I believe that when you listen to people, they shed their skin. Whatever that you think that they are, whether they are famous, successful, whatever, if you go deep enough with them and you listen, you will find that whatever struggle that they have is also your struggle. And when people meet each other and then they have similar struggle, you realize that we are all the same. And then a lot of the conflicts of the world, I believe, wouldn't be as intense as they are today had people listen to each other. Yeah.
It's true though. It's true. Well, we have about 5 minutes. Do you want to say anything? Particular? Plug anything also if you want.
Plug. Okay. Stuff I plug. How I live online. I have my Facebook page, Yusri Sapari. But I only add people that I met personally. So like you, I'll add now.
Okay. Although I don't have Facebook though, but
you don't have Facebook, so it's fine. YouTube, Shaggy Shag. I have a Paradise Pictures YouTube as well.
Nice.
That one I just opened because I realized I need to do things that are bigger than myself. I need to stop doing things that are just me. So I opened a company and do that. I did that. So Paradise Pictures also has a website, paradisepictures.org. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I am working on since I have the opportunity to plug, I'm just gonna plug lah.
Plug money. Let's go.
It's free anyway, right?
Let's go.
It's free
yes,
airtime, man.
Bro, yeah.
So I'm doing 3 projects. One is about Jana, my wife. She stopped using sanitary pads and start using a menstrual cup.
Okay.
So I'm going on through the journey with her. I'm hoping to meet with the people who sell these things and other women who are going through this change. And why do they go through this change? Because I think it's something that is interesting, but not enough people are talking about it. At the same time, it's level 1 controversial because it deals with bodily function and sexual organs and all that. Yeah, and then another one is I'm doing I'm really trying hard. I don't know how I'm gonna get this done, but I really want to do it. It's a documentary about this group of abang-abang bawa trailer. So these Malay gentlemen who drive trucks for a living, drive trailers, drive our containers around. So they contribute greatly to our shipping industry in Singapore. So some of them, they decorate their vehicles, trailers.
Yeah.
And it looks very fierce, it looks very gangster. These people look like they used to be gang members at some point of their life. They look like very rough and tough. So this is where I come in with my getting out of my comfort zone. I judge them when I see them. And one day I realized that I was doing a very negative thing, which is to judge them. So I asked myself, why don't you meet them, learn about them, find out what's their life story, make a documentary. So that's my challenge for myself when I did this documentary about them.
Alright. Is
So
it done or?
No. I've just met the leader of one of these groups.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that one meeting already I learned so much. You know what I mean? So the next few days are just getting footage. They do meetups and all that, so I'm gonna meet them. I honest to God, I always judge people, which we always do. So I'm trying to take one step further than that. Turn that judgment into a positive thing, you see.
Mm.
And I know that not only me, other people are also judging them.
Yes, for sure.
So yeah, maybe to just to learn and understand people more. Again, listening.
All right, all the best, man, for this project, and
Thanks,
it's
man.
been a pleasure talking to you, bro.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thank you. Hey.